In this video, we got another episode of this series where I rate and improve your guys' teams. You guys will send me your teams on Twitter, X7Tanaka. I'll put out a tweet asking for teams, and then you guys will reply to that tweet with your squad, just like everyone in this video did. So don't DM me, because I feel like a lot of people don't realize that I forget to say in these videos, is you don't DM me your squad. I'll just put out a team every single week. I'll put out a tweet, I should say, asking for teams every single week, and then you guys will respond to that tweet in the replies with your squad and how much MT you guys have, just like everyone's done, and then you have a chance to be featured in one of these videos. But if you guys also want to let me know your squads down below on the YouTube comment section, let me know your team right now and how much MT you guys have, and I'll give you guys my best suggestions to help improve your team. But looking at the first squad here in the video comes in from John. He's looking to improve his normally spent squad. He wants to get Yao, but he wants to hear my suggestions first, and he does have 1.4 million MT. So you got tons of MT to work with and a very good overall squad to start off with. I would say probably a 9 out of 10. I think it's a very decent team. If you wanted to get Yao, I think that's a perfectly cool purchase to go with. I would just maybe look to upgrade your point guard spot. In my opinion, I think you can get Hito Turkoglu, and then you can maybe go for a Jimmy Butler if you wanted to. You can even go for a cheaper option like a Joe Ingles, a Ousmane Dieng. I think those cards are super nice at the point guard spot. For me, I would probably go Jimmy Butler and probably Hito Turkoglu is what I would go with personally for your point guard spot. I like Ricky Davis. I like Malik Sealy. You know, Steve Smith. Yeah, that is Malik Sealy. I like Jonathan Bender. I like AK-47. I like Taco Fall. You could improve KG. Not exactly sure what power forward you could afford. If you're spending about, what, 700k on Yao Ming, maybe 300,000 MT on Jimmy, you're not going to have too much MT left to work with. So I think KG is fine. I think other than that, your team is perfectly cool. I would just upgrade your point guard position, and that's pretty much it for your squad. All around, though, definitely have a very good squad. Oh, also, you could I just realized you could start Peter next to Taco and then have Hakeem at the backup 4 and Yao at the backup 5, or start them, like start Hakeem and Yao and then have Taco and Peter coming off the bench. That's probably what I recommend doing if you do decide to get the Galusopal Yao card. Looking at the next team here coming in from Seba, he's got about 44,000 MT and another decent squad to work with here. I mean, I would say probably like a 7.5 to 8 out of 10. A definitely very solid squad. I know he likes Russ because he is a big Russ fan. I know he likes using James Harden. I like to have Antoine Jameson. I would probably look to replace cards like Yi and Chet at the backup 4 and 5. I like your front court duo of Mo Bamba and Peter Guttersman. I would just say for the backup 5, I would probably move Mo Bamba to your backup 5. And then for your power forward spot, I really like cards like Dino. I mean, you got KG on here as well. I'm not sure if he plays in your lineup. You know, Glenn Rice could also play over Dr. J as well. But for your power forward spot, I really like DeMarcus Cousins. I think he's a nice solid option at the power forward spot. Either him or Dino, I think, are perfect cards to play your power forward position. But other than that, I mean, you can maybe look to upgrade to an AK-47 if you want to save up for the MT, or maybe go after Robert Williams if you want some defense over Tim Thomas. But really, I would just upgrade your backup 4 and your backup 5. But looking at the next team here coming in from Zaza, he needs a better bench center, and Bender has 36 Hall of Fame badges, and Taco does have 17. So you got 17. So you got just under a million MT at 900k. Your squad, I would say, is definitely decent. I mean, your starting lineup is really good. Your bench is definitely a letdown. I mean, your backup 4 and backup 5, I would say, definitely needs to get upgraded. 1, 2, and 3 off the bench is perfectly cool. I'd probably look for a better defender that I'll talk about here in a second. But for rating out of 10, I'd probably give this an 8 to 8.5. It's hard to rank this team because it's a really good starting lineup and then kind of a mediocre bench, I would say. So for me personally, what I would do for your backup 3, I would go ahead and get Big Z. If you're looking to spend a decent amount of MT, I would look to get him for your backup 3 or start him and then have Jonathan Bender off the bench. If you want to go for a cheaper option, I think AK-47 or Kyle Kuzma are still great options for that backup 3. I'd probably recommend AK just because he does have way better defense and he can be your lockdown for the bench. And then for your backup 4, I mean, once again, not exactly sure how much MT you want to spend, but if you want to go for like budget, I would probably look to get a card like Peter Gudmundsson for the backup 5. I think he's a really good backup center. And then for the power forward position, there's a couple different options you can go with. I like Boogie Cousins a lot. If you want to run him at the backup 4, you also got Dino, and then you got the expensive cards like Dwight Howard, like D-Rob. You can grind for Hakeem. I see you're really close to him, so that's kind of my suggestions for your bench. I would keep your starting lineup the same. I would just look to get AK for your backup 3, let's say Boogie Cousins for your backup 4, and then Peter Gudmundsson for the backup 5. But all around, a definitely very solid squad, especially that starting lineup. Looking at the next team here, coming in from MK, he's got Big Z at his 2, and he does have 200,000 MT. So I like Big Z at the shooting guard spot next to AK and Ron Artest. I think your starting lineup, once again, is perfectly cool. I would just say your bench could be upgraded. I like Mo Bamba, I like Glenn Rice, and I like Ben Simmons. I would just upgrade your backup 3 and your backup 4. So for the backup 3 with 200k, I would probably look to get either Kyle Kuzma or Jonathan Bender, depending if you want a little bit more height. I would personally go with Kyle Kuzma. You got Ben Simmons for the height. You probably need that one more offensive card, so I'd go for the Hero Kuzma over Gordon Hayward. And then once again, you need a backup 4, whether it's Boogie Cousins, whether it's Dino. I think both those guys are really solid options. I might be missing a power forward. I'm trying to think if I'm missing like a budget power forward. I don't think I am. I could be though. So I'd go with Boogie Cousins or Dino Raja to play that backup power forward spot. I think Joe Ingles could maybe play over Ben Simmons if you wanted him to. And then you can maybe go for Jonathan Bender instead of Kyle Kuzma. So you got a lot of options you can run. And then I would also maybe look to get Ricky Davis over a card like Glenn Rice. I just do think he's a little bit better. I know he does cost more MT, but I do think he's worth that upgrade at the backup 2 spot. But looking at the next team here, coming in from, I think it's pronounced Footy. He's got 540 MT. I think he meant 540k. I'm just going to assume that he's going for Sean Livingston, Hakeem, and Steve Smith. So he's still grinding for those free cards in season 6. So I'll just say, you know, I'll just work with this squad, and then if you want to add those free cards, you know, whenever you do get them, then you can go ahead and do so. But looking at this squad, I'd probably give it a 8.5. Maybe an 8. I'd say 8's 8.5 out of 10. You might be like a big Jordan Poole fan, and that's perfectly cool if you want to run Jordan Poole. I just think for me personally, I would look to get a Joe Ingles, a Ousmane Dieng, a Elgin Baylor, Iguodala, you know, one of those 4 point guards. Even Luke Walton, he's another great option. I'd probably go for Ingles or Ousmane Dieng, 2 player starting point guard position, and then have Scotty Barnes off the bench. For your shooting guard spot, I like Ricky Davis, I like Glenn Rice. AK-47 Danny Ferry, I think is also pretty solid. I would just look to upgrade your power forward and your center position. I'd move Sabonis personally to the backup 5 and get that pink diamond Peter Guttersman for the starting center position. And then for your power forward spot, I think you could look to get a card like Mo Bamba. I think he's a very solid power forward. You could definitely get his hero version. And then once again, if you want to get a Dino, if you want to get a Boogie Cousins, you know, like a DeMarcus Cousins, or if you maybe want to save up for a D-Rob, or you can probably afford them. If you want to spend the MT for a D-Rob, a Dwight, I think both those cards can make a big difference on your type of team. Or if you want to go ahead and get Taco Fall at your starting power forward spot and then play him next to Pink Diamond Peter at the center position. So if you want to spend a lot of your MT, I would go ahead and get Taco Fall alongside like a Joe Ingles or Ousmane Dieng, and that's pretty much it for your squad. Maybe go get a Mo Bamba and a Pink Diamond Peter as well. But looking at the next team here, coming in from Rye, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's looking to spend 400,000 MT at a 1.2, and he just added level 40 Hakeem to the team last night. So he's got Hakeem Olajuwon here somewhere. What I'd probably do, like what I would do with Hakeem, is I would definitely move Kuzma to the backup 3, Boogie to the backup 4, and then leave that 5 spot available for now. What I would do with your squad, I don't know if you're like a huge Chris Bosh fan, I would sell Chris Bosh and get Taco Fall for that power forward position, and then I would look to run Hakeem at your backup 5. Hakeem at your backup 5 next to Boogie at your backup 4. So that's what I would do first off, is get Taco Fall for that starting power forward spot, sell Chris Bosh. I think Taco and Dwight is a really good front court duo, and then your backcourt duo can be Boogie and Hakeem. I think you're perfectly fine with that. If you wanted to sell Boogie, move Hakeem to your backup 4, and then get a card like a Pink Diamond Peter, or maybe a Sabonis, or maybe a Brook Lopez, I think that's definitely an option as well. If you want a little bit more height, which now that I'm thinking about it, probably is a little bit better, is if you go Hakeem at your backup 4, and then get a Brook Lopez, a Sabonis, a Pink Diamond Peter to play that backup 5 spot. And then I think your 3, 4, and 5 is perfectly cool. For your shooting guards, I would move Penny Hardaway to the point guard position. And then if you really like D-Rose, I'd play him at the backup point guard spot. I'm not the biggest fan of D-Rose. I don't think he's that great of a card, especially with all these super tall point guards. But if you really like to use him, then I'd have him and Penny Hardaway as your 2 point guards. And then for your 2 shooting guards, if you want to go ahead and get Big Z, I think you can definitely go ahead and do so. If you wanted to save more MT, because you probably spent most of that on on Taco and like Pink Diamond Peter, so you probably don't have too much MT left. So I would look to play Glenn Rice at your backup 2 and then get Ricky Davis for that starting shooting guard position. If you make all those upgrades, I think the squad becomes easily a 9.5 out of 10 team and a very good all-around squad that I think is super competitive in a game mode like Unlimited. But looking at the last team here of the video, coming in from Will, he's got 800,000 MT and another very good squad. I think your starting lineup should pretty much stay the exact same, and then off the bench, I think you can make some upgrades with maybe your backup 4 and your backup 5. I would say look to get, one of those good centers, Pink Diamond Peter, Brooke Lopez, Sabonis. I would get one of them for the backup 5. And then if you want to spend a good amount of MT, I would get Dwight Howard or D-Rob to play your backup 4. And if you want to go for more budget, then guys like Dino can slide to the 4, or you could play maybe a Jonathan Bender, you could play maybe a DeMarcus Cousins at that backup power forward spot. But all around, I think you got a pretty good squad. I would just upgrade that backup 4 and that backup 5. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said earlier, let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know how much MT you guys have right now and what team you guys are rocking with, and I'll give you guys my best suggestions to help improve your guys' teams. But hopefully you guys did enjoy, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.